Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Two Noble Kinsmen, and we get to hear from Palamon today in Act 2, Scene 2, which, that means we have to play a little bit of catch-up on the things that happened in Act 1, Scene 1. So in Act 1, Scene 1, we had a thwarted wedding, or an interrupted wedding, because three queens wanted Theseus to go fight Creon, which he did, and he won, and the queens were able to get the bodies of their loved ones back, and Palamon and Arcite were taken prisoner in the course of that war, and Theseus is like, we need to treat these guys well. So Act 1, Scene 5 is a very short scene, and we get to see the funeral. We see the funeral, there's a song, there's some flourishes, the queens say little prayers, and then they go their own ways. So Act 1 starts with a wedding, has a war in the middle of it, and then ends with a funeral. That's a lot for an act to have to carry. So then Act 2, Scene 1, it's like now we get into like what this play is supposed to be about, now that we've already had a wedding and a funeral and a war involved. But Act 2, Scene 1, we've got the jailer, his daughter, and her wooer. None of these three characters have names. They are literally jailer, jailer's daughter, and wooer. So we start out with the jailer and the wooer talking about, and the jailer's like, yes, when I die, she'll get everything that I've got. So that's basically the dowry, and if you're cool with that. And the wooer's like, yeah, I wouldn't ask for anything more than that. And the jailer's like, okay, and does she agree to marry you also? And then the jailer's daughter comes in because she has straw, like fresh straw, to lay out in Palamon and Arcite's cell. And before they talk about her marrying the wooer, they talk a little bit about the prisoners, Palamon and Arcite. And it becomes apparent that she has maybe been watching them a bit. She's like, the guys seem to be doing well, and if they don't seem to be acting like they're in prison, like they're still talking with each other about like big lofty things, and they're eating well and they're sleeping, whatever. It's almost like they seem like they're just on holiday. They almost seem oblivious to the fact that they're in jail. And then Palamon and Arcite like come forward in their cells so that they're visible. And the jailer's like, oh, that's this one. And the jailer's daughter's like, no, that's the other one. So remember, there's a tidbit that the two of them look very similar. She can tell them apart, which is one of those things, like, I don't know if you have friends who are twins, or maybe you have cats who are siblings. The longer that you are around them and get to know them, the more you can tell them apart, but other people might not be able to. So this is going to be important later, that the jailer's daughter has been paying attention to Palamon and Arcite. So they come out, and she's like, no, that's that one. And the jailer's like, stop there pointing, and let's go hide, because they don't want to be seen watching the prisoners. And that's the end of Act 2, Scene 1. But it's a nice transition into Act 2, Scene 2, which is where we are today, because we just had Palamon and Arcite coming out, and Act 2, Scene 2 is in their jail cell with the two of them talking. And they're like, how you doing? How are you doing? Kind of a thing. And Palamon says, oh, cousin Arcite, where is Thebes now? Where is our noble country? Where are our friends and kindreds? Nevermore must we behold these comforts, never see the hardy youths strive for the games of honor, hung with the painted favors of their ladies, like tall ships under sail. Then start amongst them, and as an east wind leave them all behind us, like lazy clouds, whilst Palamon and Arcite, even in the wagging of a wanton leg, outstripped the people's praises, won the garlands, ere they have time to wish 'em ours. Oh, never shall we two exercise, like twins of honor, our arms again, and feel our fiery horses like proud seas under us. Our good swords now, better the red-eyed god of war never were, bravished our sides, like age must run to rust, and deck the temples of those gods that hate us. These hands shall never draw 'em out like lightning to blast whole armies more. So what Palamon is missing is war and tournaments, basically. one important thing that this lets us know is that he is aware of the fact that he's in jail with his cousin Arcite. He's very aware of the fact that he is imprisoned, and may be imprisoned for life, because he's saying, you know, we're never gonna get to see the games played again. We're never gonna get to like jump in and win the games out from under somebody else's nose at the last minute again. We're never gonna get to ride our horses again or brandish our swords again. Like we're stuck here. This is our life for the rest of our life. We are here in this jail cell and alone except for each other. Like our friends aren't here, our family's not here. This is it. This jail cell is it for us. So then, of course, Arcite has to pipe in, but that'll be tomorrow's monologue. Because, oh boy, these two boys like to talk. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more. Mwah.